welcome to my YouTube channel, Healing Motherhood. So today I wanted to talk about the 4 ways that you can find community as a mom. Part of the healing process for me was finding a community of like-minded moms because I just needed to know that I wasn't alone. That I wasn't alone in how I was feeling and what I was experiencing and all of my anxieties and everything. I just needed to know I wasn't alone. And that was really hard for me because I had my first child in 2020, like a month before the big shutdown, right? So as you can imagine, it was hard because I already was struggling with not really knowing like how motherhood is, not truly knowing, right? Like you always have kind of an idea of how it is until it happens to you and you're like, whoa, this is motherhood. It was so new to me. And then on top of that, I didn't have a community that I could go to, that I could reach out to. So it was really hard. It was extremely hard. And that's why I, dealt with, one of the reasons with postpartum depression and anxiety. So one of the biggest things that helped me in my healing was finding a community. And so today I wanted to share what the 4 ways are that you can find a community as a mom. So the first way is to go to your local church. And this only applies to you if you're a Christian, but going to your local church, you can, so this is kind of like a hack. So if you go to a local church, sometimes they have small groups, sometimes they have Bible studies, get plugged in to a small group or a Bible study. And then there you might meet other moms. If you don't meet other moms or don't want to go to a small group or Bible study or whatever it is, you could always do this on a Sunday. This is what I would do. I would drop off my kids at the nursery or like the Sunday school or whatever, and while I'm dropping them off or when I'm picking them up, if I notice a mom that has kids of similar ages or like my kid maybe played with their kid, during church, like I would go up to that mom and say, hey, I'm new to the area, or hey, I'm new to the church. Like, I really would like to make some, friends around the area or in the church or whatever. Or you could even say like, I'm new to the church, and I saw that our kids were playing and they get along. Like, could I get your number so we could set up a play date? Like, there's so many ways. And I can tell you that moms are really receptive to this. Like, moms crave community. They crave it. So yeah, I know that for some people they're shy. And so maybe they're not willing to do it or don't want to do it for whatever reason. So that's okay. But just a suggestion, okay? The other way that you can find community as a mom is to find a local MomCo group. MomCo, formerly known as MOPS or Mothers of Preschoolers, but MomCo is Mom Community. That's what it stands for. And so I'm going to share a link so that you can find your local MomCo group near you. But basically, each MomCo group is different. So like, let me explain. So MomCo is like the big umbrella, like the big organization. And then under it are like the different branches or chapters, whatever you want to call it. And they usually meet in a church or in another location. I will say a lot of the moms that go there are Christian. They do identify as Christians. So again, if you're not a Christian, maybe not your jam, but just putting it out there. So it's basically within these branches that usually they'll meet within a church. They do different things, but it's just like a group of moms that get together, and then they'll either listen to like a speaker. Maybe a speaker will come in and talk about something related to motherhood, or they'll be doing a craft, or they'll be watching a video that MomCo International created, like to support, to inspire, to motivate moms. And so sometimes it'll be in the mornings, and they'll have childcare for those moms that need it. And they'll have breakfast, like it'll be like a potluck breakfast. Or sometimes it'll be in the evenings. You know, every MomCo meeting is different. Though everybody does it differently. So I will I'll put the link so that way you can find your local chapter there. Okay, so the third way that you can find community as a mom is through Facebook groups. So there's lots of different groups, and I didn't know this until recently, which is like, what, Ingrid? Why didn't you know this? Anyway, there's lots of different Facebook groups, and there's lots of different types of Facebook groups, but there's lots of Facebook groups for moms, like on a local level. Like, let's say you live in Atlanta, Georgia. All you have to do is type in Facebook, Atlanta, Georgia, moms. And then you'll find so many groups there. I'm currently in so many mom groups. I probably should get out of all of them because I receive way too many notifications. But there's like Crunchy Moms, Crunchy Christian Moms, Scrunchy Moms. You know, there's just different types, but those are like the three that come to mind. So you can find not only a mom group, but a mom group that is more specific to like what you like, you know, or what you're interested in. And on there you can post and all of this. And sometimes, you know, sometimes they have like, especially if like they're local, sometimes they'll meet up. Or if you wanted to, you could be the one to prompt it and say, hey, like, I want to meet up I want to go to this playground. Does anybody in this group want to meet me here at this time? And you could do that. So that's another way that you can find local moms. Okay, so the fourth way that you can find community as a mom, and this way is not actually in person, this way is virtual. And this is the way that I found community, my first way of finding community as a mom. And it was game-changing for me. It was a lifesaver because, again, in the middle of COVID and during the shutdown, I needed community, but I couldn't find physical community. So this is what really helped me out. So it's through Postpartum Support International, and I will also provide a link for that. But basically, they provide free support groups for different types of moms. So they have different types of groups, and I'm gonna come here and read you a couple of different ones because they've actually added so many different ones since, you know, I was part of these groups. There's ADHD support for pregnant and postpartum moms, birth trauma support, dad support group, because dads need support too, guys. They really do. Fertility challenges, NICU postpartum parents, parenting after loss, support for parents of high needs babies, support for parents of 1 to 4-year-old children, when breastfeeding and body feeding ends before you are ready. Wow. Yeah, so a lot of different groups. And so I'm sure you can find a group that, you know, will encompass what you're looking for. And so the way that it works is, and I will provide the link again, but you sign up for the group and everything, and then it's like through Zoom. And in the beginning, like there's a host and they'll do some education. So that's when I learned exactly what my condition was, which was mostly OCD because of the intrusive thoughts that I had. But so they'll have like an educational component to it, and then they'll also allow time at the end for everybody to talk. And so it's really nice because you can talk about things openly and like you're not gonna get judgment. And then through there, if you wanted to, you could, you know, direct message someone in the chat and, you know, say, hey, I really resonated with your story, or I feel the same way, like, you know, could I have your number and could we talk a little bit more about it? You know, that's another way that you can also have a community, even if it's like virtually or through the phone, like it's still a community. So yeah, those are the 4 different ways that I know of that you can find a community as a mom. I'm sure there's other ways. Feel free to share it in the comments because I know other people are looking for different ways, and I'm always curious to know how other people find community. So please feel free to share it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me in my healing journey. And if you like this content, please hit subscribe so that way you can get some more. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.